Hello, everybody, and welcome to another review by us. Get strapped in. We have a lot of reviews on the way because I think we have about 8 invitations to 8 different movies. So I think it's 5 this week, 3 next week. It's going to be hectic. But for today, we just saw Saltburn. This movie is written and directed by Emerald Fennell. She did Promising Young Woman, which I know that me and Nan both loved. I think it was in like our top 3 of that year. Yeah, we both loved that movie. It won Best Screenplay at the Oscars, so we're very excited for another Emerald Fennell movie. Saltburn follows a student at Oxford University who finds himself drawn into the world of a charming and aristocratic classmate who then invites him to his eccentric family's sprawling estate for a summer never to be forgotten. Now, this movie stars Barry Keoghan, Jacob Elordi, Archie McCudway, and Sadie Soverell. You also got Rosamund Pike in there and Jacob E. Grant. So, Nan, what do you think of this interesting movie? I don't really know how else to phrase it, but interesting is probably the best way to put it.
It definitely is interesting. I still don't know my actual thoughts and whether I liked it or not. I'm still very much on the fence. It's going to stick around for quite a while before I actually. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I like it, but it's definitely a typical. And when I say typical, because I've only seen one of her films, Emerald Fennell type movie. You've got like a pretty simple first 2 acts, and then it's really that last 20 minutes where shit sort of hits the fan. It was quite similar to Promising Young Woman. When I was watching, I was like, oh, this must be like her style or something, just like
the twist right at the end kind of thing.
I think that's her sort of style of directing. And I do like films like that where it's just like you don't know where it's going to go, and then suddenly everything, it just flips the table on you at the last 20 minutes. You're like, oh, Christ, okay.
Yeah.
so I thought the directing was pretty decent. It was pretty good in terms of that. The performances is probably the key standout for this. Other than the technical side of stuff. Barry Keoghan.
I think there's a lot of ways to pronounce it last time. I always go with Keoghan.
Yeah, that guy. Yeah, I thought he was real easily the standout in this. Just when we first see him, he was like the sort of timid, quite shy sort of character, and then Barry, I'm not going to say his last name, portrayed that really well. And then like you can just sort of see his as the movie goes on, just him grow and like get a bit more confident and somewhat stuff like that. And like you can sort of the way the twist ends, and if you like follow it through, you can sort of see what he was doing.
Yeah.
If that means I don't want to spoil anything, so I can't really get into detail.
Yeah, no, we can't get into details.
But yeah, I thought he was great. Jacob Elordi was Elordi.
Yeah.
Was good as well. I thought he was really good. He sort of played that, that sort of playboy, sort of rich guy quite well. Sort of oblivious to real world feelings and warnings that people were giving him. He was just, a stand-up guy, really.
He just seemed like a really good dude, eh? Like, you always think he's going to be the asshole, but like he's just...
Because it's always the rich ones that are the cunty ones, but no.
Yeah, but this guy, he's just, he seems like a really good guy.
Yeah. So I think those two are the main standouts of this film. All the other actors and actresses in it sort of just... They were just fine. Rosamund Pike was Rosamund Pike, like she can never have a bad movie. She's just so damn good.
Yeah.
The best part of this film is the technical side, the cinematography and the production design. Some of the shots in the film is absolutely stunning. There was one shot that I remember very clearly where it's Barry just like laying down on the ground, and then you have the mansion behind him filling up one half of the screen, and then it's the water reflection of the mansion on the other half.
Oh, yes.
Oh, such a good scene.
Yeah.
And then there's like heaps of great bird's eye sort of scenes as well. There was one off where they're by the lake and the sister is just there, and you see the little donut, and then another one at the end with the maze, and just see everyone running through the maze.
Yeah.
I think the shot selection in this film is fantastic, and the lighting as well is amazing as well. Especially that last the party scene at the end with just like the red light and everything. And then, at the dinner scene where they close curtains and it's red and it's quite symmetrical for what happened on screen moments before. It
Yeah.
was really, really good. And the production design was great. That it took place in a mansion, and it actually felt like a mansion. It felt huge. Like I could barely keep up besides the main dining room of what room was whose and what,
Yeah.
because it's just so massive, and like the detailing in it from like the books and the paintings and the what's it called, statues,
Yeah. All that art.
vases,
Yep.
stuff like art was very well done, and even just the look of that, the old sort of English sort of castle-y type buildings was great as well. The score, I could barely really hear a score on it. Like there wasn't a score throughout the whole movie. It was just in certain scenes where it had musical pieces, and some of the scenes where it was really good. It's a typical orchestral type scores. There was another thing I was going to say, but I forgot mid-sentence. That will do me until it comes.
Yep. That's all. Yeah, I'm pretty much on board with pretty much everything that you said there. I would disagree about the actors just because Barry Keoghan, I've seen, he's just always kind of that kind of character.
Weird.
You're weird, just that sad guy who's just kind of tagging along. But then he's also sometimes that one that's kind of like evil and mysterious as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think he's played this role a lot. So I didn't really find it much of a standout, but he does have a little bit more quirkiness, and it's more of a daring role, as we see in one of the scenes towards the end of the film. It's very, very interesting. I don't think I need to see much more of Barry Keoghan again. I've seen a lot of him. Jacob Elordi, I liked him. I thought he was good as well. It doesn't provide too much in terms of more of like a compelling performance or anything. I would also say Rosamund Pike, I really liked her. I thought she was very interesting, and her performance was quite subtle as well. I thought it was just really, really good. I think overall just the entire cast they were just really, really solid.
Yeah.
Like no one's like, oh, they're definitely going to get best actor or best actress. It's just really, really good. Everyone involved in it, I guess. As for the narrative and story itself, I could see why this movie is quite like divided, and
me too.
Yeah, people aren't so like certain of it. You can just understand it. I'm still trying to swing the fence in terms of whether I'm in favor of it or like not in favor of it. But I think I overall enjoyed it. I think kind of the twists at the end and how it kind of this plot unravels, it didn't really affect me. I didn't think it was anything special. I didn't think it was like, oh my God, it was there the whole time. Or like, I'm just trying to speak very broadly without giving away context or spoilers. But it is quite similar to Parasite in terms of its themes, class disparity of, lower class versus upper class and all that kind of stuff. And I don't think it really it fleshed that piece of it out enough. And then the twists and turns that happen throughout the movie, it doesn't really add any weight to the thematic of the movie. So I was a little bit disappointed in that. But going over to, the technical side of it, Emerald Fennell has massively improved as a technical director. For Promising Young Woman, I think that was shot nice. It was really solid technically. But this is on a whole new level for Emerald Fennell. It's like this seems like someone who's like just really knows what they're doing, and I'm sure Emerald Fennell does. She's a very promising young director. That was a good one. Don't give me that look. That one was good. But my point still stands. And yeah, what she's done here is great. I think cinematography wise, one of the best of the year easily. The cinematographer Linus Sandgren, he's very good at what he does. The type of shots that he gets they're very interesting, and capturing it on that kind of aspect ratio. It's smaller, but he manages to capture like so much around him as well, and you kind of just can sit there in awe in like the beauty of this massive mansion. I think he just does a really good job of capturing, the visual style of it, and as you said before, I thought the lighting was just impeccable. It was it's so nicely lit. One of my favorites of the year when it comes to cinematography, I would say as well the production design. It's got to be up there for top of the year as well. The party, the Oxford University, the mansion itself, brilliant all around. Like everything it just works. And as you said before, you felt the mansion being big. Like it felt like we only kind of explored like a little bit of it.
Yeah.
But but it also managed to make you feel like it's much more big than like what you can actually see inside. So I think that does a really good job. It uses the outside areas of the mansion really well, and it just kind of creates quite very interesting situations and quite compelling scenes as well throughout it. As for the score, I mean, I thought the score was solid. It's not memorable. I think it just slides right in.
Yeah.
And that's basically it. I thought the song selection were hilarious. This movie takes place in 2006, and it might be one of the first movies to really capture the like 2000s kind of era quite well, because the fact that we're saying it's like kind of like a throwback now is odd because it's only 2006.
Yeah.
But it throws you back there, with the songs, the karaoke, the type of phones that they have.
Yeah.
It's a really bizarre kind of feeling watching that and seeing it. And the type of movies that are shown in the movie as well. It's like, you know what I'm talking about. Yeah. So I thought that was just a very kind of interesting era to choose for this movie to take place.
It's quite refreshing because we're so used to seeing like 90s, 80s, 60s.
Exactly.
But no one ever thinks to do like, early 2000s.
Yeah, I know.
Because we're now getting to that stage, almost 25 years since that era. So that's pretty much like a whole...
you can have like throwback movies now to that era.
You can do so much with that. And I'm surprised many directors aren't choosing to do that. They're just sticking with the 80s and 90s.
Like with the kind of the early technology revolution, like with like old school laptops, the fat computers and stuff. Yeah, we can really go back to that era now. But overall, Emerald for now, when it comes to the technical side of this, absolutely amazing. I expect this to have a very large presence at the Oscars. In terms for you, this movie has obviously been talked about in the Oscar conversation pretty heavily.
Mm-hmm.
Not surprising given Promising Young Woman's success. You said the actors were kind of a standout for you. Do you see anyone being worthy of nomination? Anyone in the conversation?
No, I think this year is just so damn strong when it comes to acting.
It really is, yeah.
Like maybe if it was any other year, maybe they could just get like a filler sort of nomination.
Yeah.
But no, I don't see anyone from this cast getting it. I think most of the Oscar nominations are going to come from the technical side of the film.
Yeah, no, I agree. The only one I could see is maybe Rosamund Pike, because I don't really... I mean, looking at the Best Supporting Actress, it might be the weakest one of the acting categories.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, because, your supporting actor, Robert Downey Jr., De Niro, Gosling, and obviously Best Actor and Actress are stacked. But Best Supporting Actress, maybe a nod in there, maybe in the conversation. I don't know if it'll stick. But I wouldn't say she deserves it, but really strong. What about in the technical side of things?
Yeah,
Yeah,
definitely. The cinematography has to get nominated, along with production design as well. Maybe even costume. Oh no, not really costume design. It was just pretty.
Costuming was solid.
Oh yeah, I guess.
Yeah,
but I think the film really strives on those two: the cinematography and
production. Yeah,
I don't really see it getting a screenplay nod. I just don't think it's as strong as Promising Young Woman, so I think it might miss out in that aspect.
Yeah, I think it's just its themes and the emotionality of it just doesn't quite hit like Promising Young Woman did.
Yeah,
that made a point in that movie, and it made it pretty strongly. Also tied quite nicely with certain pieces of comedy as well. Yeah, but I mean, it's a very dense year, so it's got a lot of competition ahead of it. I think it may get the Best Picture nod at the end of the day. Right now, I don't know if it absolutely deserves a Best Picture nod. Would you be mad if it got nominated for Best Picture? Considering there can be 10 nominees at least.
Depends what missed out, really.
That's true. Yeah.
Because I'm so on the fence with this one that I don't know where I sit. I wouldn't mind it at this stage, but it really depends what it missed out. So say for example, Oppenheimer missed out by this.
Okay,
I
well,
don't know.
I don't think
That's why I said, for example, because it's the first one. Then I'll be like, oh, okay, really? It was something like Poor Things, missed out because of Saltburn. I'm like, oh, nah.
Well, you're just saying the front runners there. Maybe something like The Killer didn't make it, and we'll review that one soon. Yeah.
I don't know.
There's been a lot of good ones this year. We'll have to see. This is definitely a movie that I think is gonna, once it settles with us, I think we'll have a more clearer idea of our own opinions. In terms of score, I know it's hard because it's a kind of a wacky, divisive kind of movie. Where do you sit out of 10 right now? And I'm fully asking you, knowing that will probably change by the time when we do our top 10s.
Yeah, probably 5 right now.
Probably 5, just right in the middle, eh?
Right in the middle on the fence, It can either become shit or it has room to grow.
I would say a 6.5. I really love the technical side of the movie. I think it's a very beautiful movie to watch. And I was really intrigued for a lot of it. But yeah, just the parts of it just didn't land. I didn't really feel anything by the end of it. But yeah, that is our review for Saltburn. I don't know whether it's out in the US or not. I don't know when. These kind of Oscar movies, they kind of they're very weird with the NZ calendar. And for example, we get the Zone of Interest in February next year. So very interesting there. But anyway, if you guys have seen it, do let us know what you think. Jump on over to X or leave your comment down below. If you're listening to our podcast with this, then just jump over to YouTube or X, formerly Twitter, and then flick us a message, let us know what you think. Otherwise, go and see the movie. I would recommend going and see this movie. I would love to know more people's opinions about it because you get some really interesting opinions just because I think you're either going to love it or you hate it. You can either really go one way. But yeah, otherwise, just head on over to moviegames.com, check out all our content that we do. We do box office, Oscars, physical media, and more. So just head on over there. Otherwise, we'll catch you next time. Keep bringing the hype. Peace.
See you later.